Hi, Shailesh. Shaila.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Shaila.
Hello, Manjunatre.
Yeah, thank you. Shaila, or can I go with Rao?
Shaila is good.
Okay, yeah. Pleasure talking to you, Shaila. Yeah, Shaila. So to get you kick-started, just want to give some intro about this role, what they are, and what from where I'm calling from. So this is the initial call, a screening call from Wipro, and probably the end client we are expecting is Apple. So we are primarily looking for a content management project manager who has pretty good hands-on experience in driving the projects and coordinating with the cross-channel applications and working with multiple projects concurrently and driving the team effectively. So that is the whole idea that we are trying to evaluate you for. Helpful if you can proceed with your intro
Sure.
on those lines.
Yeah, sure. So I have been in this content management world for the last 20 years. So initially, I started off as a content management product developer. It's Oracle Web Center Sites product, and transitioned over to being an architect. And then, when I transitioned from Oracle Web Center Sites, Team Site into Adobe World, then I started taking roles of product ownership, project manager, program manager, that kind of role. So it has been from 2019 onwards, I've been taking this kind of roles with Adobe. So experience with Adobe has been with, it started off with Kaiser Permanente through a, I mean, all the experiences I mentioned are through some, other consultancy. For example, Rose International, through which I went to Kaiser Permanente. And there it was, initially they said business PM slash architect kind of position where you analyze the gaps with the product and work with the, cross collaboration team to understand why nobody is adapting to AEM and things like that. So it's an analysis as well as running the, development cycles with the IT in India and, with the cross collaboration. And then after that, I actually worked with Slalom for 1.5 years, close to 2 years, and that was also product owner slash program manager kind of roles. And I handle clients like. I mean, maybe USA. I mean, maybe I won't name all the clients, but I handle Slalom's clients in the Adobe world where they have like one of the clients followed agile process with multiple parts, and I'm the owner of one of the parts, running the implementation, collaborating with the design implementation team, architects, and all the process happened through your Scrum, agile process, safe agile process is what they followed, and Confluence and Jira, and those are the tools we used. Um, and also, I worked as sort of a semi architect slash project manager kind of role over there. And then for a video content management system, I worked as a director at Comcast, and I was also overseeing an implementation done by an external part. A third party was building a Xumo application, and my role was to really run the release and also guide, work with the product and set up the roadmap and that kind of thing. So it's a cross collaboration thing where there was a content operations team, there is a content building team, backend and front end, and as well as product management. And yeah, usual goals of tracking the progress, reporting to the CTO and VP. SVP was one of the CTO of Xumo, not Comcast. Xumo was a small company, got acquired by Comcast. So that video CMS was very interesting. And after that, I worked at Capgemini, and Capgemini also maybe for 1.5 years. I think it was also they one of the large. I led a large scale implementations of a Salesforce project there called Know Your Customer Journey for a client called Barclays, and then I also led a few of the evaluation projects related to content management. Especially people were moving from hundreds of departments were using multiple CMSs, and they moved over to Adobe. So this is the I gave you the latest journey earlier it has been a really fantastic journey with Oracle Web Synthesize, where I was a product expert. I knew in and out, and I built a big team, India and here. So that's
Yeah.
my experience.
Good to know, Shaila. Thanks for that briefing out. So, can you please help me understand in terms of Adobe Martech technologies, what are the landscape that you have expertise on? And also helpful if you can provide some use cases where you are using agentic based development. That will like it help us understand your expectations on the AI skill set adaptation as well as knowing the technologies within the Martech.
Sure. So my first exposure to Martech technology was at Slalom. So we were evaluating like one of the clients were moving away from a legacy to brand new. So the products included in that Martech stack were they were moving over to Salesforce CRM, then Adobe Experience Manager and Adobe DAM. But Adobe DAM and Adobe Experience Manager was one of the products they had considered. There was another Sitecore and Bloomridge also some of the products in the mix. And then we had CDP and Marketo was one of the products they had included in the mix for the entire end-to-end workflow. But my responsibilities were really in terms of enabling the evaluation of content management workflow related to content operations and how it integrates with CRM using the connector, and how an Adobe Analytics would integrate with the AEM. And then there was a audience manager and also Adobe Target in the mix for personalization and audience segmentation. And CDP, actually I don't have a direct exposure working on the CDP platform where you create customer profile and track the integrate with the journey optimizer and track the journey of a customer. So that experience I don't have as in terms of using that platform, but in terms of integration I do have that experience. Where do I have agentic experience? For the last 1 year, I have experimented a lot with AI tools. Especially, I've taken a course with K21 Academy for 1 year long for weekend courses. Plus, on my own, I have built a DXP platform, an experimental DXP platform where I have like 6 content management systems included in it, and I have built my own CMS, and also it actually tracks the journey. It actually has analytics, it has search, and it has chat embedded in it where you can actually ask for best practices, how the platform was built, what architecture the platform was built. And I actually also have a comparison of DXP platform like Optimizely to AEM to Shatic DXP. So just I won't say that I have building agentic workflows for customers yet, but on my own I can show you like 20 demos I have built. I can demonstrate through the interview process as to how I have compared the XP platform and I have built my own. That's all the experience I have.
Yeah, in line to that, can you please help me understand when you're talking DXP platform, so where exactly you were using agentic solutions and well, it is helping the team in driving those our productivity in terms of what is the time that we are saving to the customer, what is the kind of capabilities that we are providing in terms of agentic to the client. So, what is your use cases there?
Yeah. So, in an evaluation project, right? Let's say a customer is moving from AEM to Contentful, or from anything. You can take Content Stack to Contentful or Team Site, whatever. So, my entire end-to-end workflow, what would have taken 3 months to really build that kind of prototype and end-to-end system, it took me
Okay.
4 weeks to build it. It's basically, the use case is this: you provide a URL, and my system that I have built automatically analyzes and builds the content models and stores it in our native database, as well as creates a front end UI. And I have a end to end what to call workflow process where you can choose the target CMS of your choice, and it builds the website. So given the initial website and the final website, you can map the two together, and it also automate the workflow process By click of a button, it publishes over with a human in the loop for approval. And there is a and I have built, like, this is not a real customer case, but I have experimented with multiple sites where you can actually, as a customer, if I visit multiple sites, at my journey actually tracks where I'm coming from and all that. So the time saving is enormous to build a, if you were to implement something for a customer, a new DXP platform. DXP is a complicated technology. Digital experience platform has multiple tools. So to analyze that, to write, to come up with an experimentation, to get a feel for the product, it will take a long time, at least minimum 3 weeks of discovery and prototyping. But this one can be done in 2 weeks. So that is the kind of, with way less, like with 3 months and maybe 5 to 6 people, what would have taken now 3 weeks and just me. So that is the kind of automation I'm talking about, which I can demonstrate to a team, anybody that wants to look at it.
Okay, so in line to that, I'm giving you a practical use case. So I have 53 countries
Mhm.
and around 90 languages.
I'm going to write that down. 53
53
countries.
countries
Okay.
and 90 languages.
90 languages. Okay.
90 languages, and there are translations from third party which will be done. And I want to, with the tool that you are talking about, I want to migrate pages that are there in AEM into EDS. So with the scale of volume of pages, like around 43,000 pages I have across all the countries and languages. And I want to ensure, like, with the tool that you're suggesting, how do you design?
EDS is electronic. What is EDS? Electronic Design System?
Edge delivery services.
Edge
from
delivery
Adobe.
services. I see. Edge delivery services. So you want to use Adobe's Edge delivery services?
Yes, are the tool that you're specifying, right? So I just want to convert these pages from one content management system to other content management system. And you're saying, like, with your tool, it's going to help all the use cases, right?
Yeah.
Can you help me briefly go through?
Sure. So right now I have a pilot that is running, which takes maybe 3 pages, and if you click a button and then it converts that and brings it into another content management services. Edge delivery I haven't tried. It should be pretty straightforward because I have a React front end.
Every content management system has its own capabilities.
Yeah.
And every content management system has its own pros and cons. Like
Yeah.
React or Angular doesn't provide dynamic authoring, where AEM provides dynamic authoring. But given a use cases like you want to migrate some pages from Salesforce to AEM or AEM to Salesforce, I want to use the tool that you are defining and then see how well it can fit in within my landscape.
Okay. So you have, let's say you are using Salesforce CMS and you want to move to AEM, or you want the vice versa.
Salesforce to AEM or AEM? Yeah,
Okay,
you can
fine.
take an example.
AEM to Salesforce. Let's say AEM to Salesforce. Okay. So the tool that I have, what happens is that you already have a website built using AI. Okay. First, let's take a sample and then take all this metric into consideration, because I haven't done this kind of math right now, but I'm going to do it as part of the process. So
Yeah, sure.
okay. Let's say you have URL, like URL of a site. Right now, when the URLs that I have built are very simple, like it's only couple of pages. So for a couple of pages, if I suggest the front end URL and hit a button, it goes and fetches the content model. It automatically converts the content model and builds the page in Salesforce is another CMS I have to plug in, but I have Content Stack, Contentful, Drupal, WordPress, and Payload. These are the systems that I'm right now able to translate. I can add Salesforce CMS into the equation very easily. Given a token and a license, I can quickly incorporate that. So languages, I have used 3 languages right now. And if I choose 3 languages, it automatically gets all those languages into the target system. But my tool is only for analysis, right? I mean, for the system to analyze and give you an idea and a feel for how it looks like. So it also give you a link for the preview of the CMS. So once it converts, you get two things: the pages, and also you have a way to go get into the CMS and look at how the content model is looking for you. So that's only a POC kind of work. Okay.
Even before even migrating to
Yes,
Salesforce, the
even
base
before
from
migrating the Salesforce, yes. But you have to have a Salesforce account for us to be able to plug in into the system. Yeah.
No, that's a targeted system, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking a page from AEM and you are migrating to Salesforce, but in between you have your application, custom
Yes.
application built in, which will extract the data. So what are the key things that you are trying to map when you are extracting the content from the page?
Okay.
How are you segregating those libraries, client library? There can be a number of things like there can be assets on a page, client libraries on a page, CSS on a page, and then HTML markup, and how we are creating those blocks or markup on the intermediate system that you are trying to build.
So
what is the process?
What right now the system that I have built addresses that I can demo today is that I have taken three, given a website, which is a sort of a e-commerce website, let's say the cars website, for example, which has product information, images, and content, right? So I built a fictitious cars website. So what it does is that it these three things it categorizes and says, okay, images are going into the DAM system, which I'm using AEM DAM in the equation for going for, right? And then product information is going to a PIM. So I'm using PIM Core. PIM Core is a PIM product that I have in the DXP platform. And content goes into the content. So this is all I've experimented. Your use case, we can easily extend and if needed, right? Meta attributes, it extracts the images,
Let's not worry about third-party applications like PIM or any other catalog management system. Let's think on a plain marketing page that you want to migrate from AEM into the targeted Salesforce application. So when you are browsing through the pages, what are the factors that you take into consideration?
One is that it actually extracts the design elements itself, the branding. So it understands, it looks at the page and analyzes, and I have a Figma, right? Figma component incorporated into the system. So it captures the branding, the style, everything, that it captures separately. And
is that the source is a page or Figma?
It's a URL or Figma. It could be either of them. Right now I'm giving a web page. So given a web page, it extracts the style information, it extracts the images and content, and that's all. Like for promotion, marketing, all that is there, but those are all something that we need to, I haven't automated that yet.
Okay, sorry about the background noise. Yeah.
So those are the only things that it identifies right now. Just the design elements, the images, the content, and any product information that needs to go into a separate PIM. Maybe Salesforce itself, right? In the Salesforce, product managers might work with the Salesforce PIM, product information management, which is Salesforce. So Salesforce CMS will get the CMS component. Salesforce PIM will get the PIM component, and then I don't know, they have to identify what system they want to use for managing their images, right? The DAM components, along with the meta attributes, taxonomy, all that has to be fed in. So earlier I had built another tool before AI. Anyway, we are talking in the context of AI, so it doesn't matter. I replicated what I built earlier in AI and made it into a DXP platform.
Good to know. Thank you, Shada, for those use cases. So have you worked on edge delivery services?
Edge delivery services from the design perspective, yes, because we were trying to demonstrate that as one of the patterns when we were presenting 3 patterns for Fidelity. We had headless, headful, and edge delivery services as well. So architecturally, I know, conceptually, I know, I haven't worked with the services myself.
So how is it different when compared to AEM?
So in the edge delivery services, what happens is it removes the AEM component completely and it is served at the edge. So you have everything that is needed for you to render cached at the edge cache. So only when necessary, it actually interacts with AEM and fetches it if needed. So that is how the whole system is. So the deployment is different.
So AEM is still needed there?
No, AEM is
so
not
I-
needed.
So then, with whom it interacts and how the content authors
The
author the
component,
pages and yeah.
the component of AI has to be there in the edge for it to interact. So there has to be a, like, say for example, once you publish everything, it lives in the edge delivery and it's cached, you can render the pages fine. But how do you take care of the content changes and subsequent publishes? So for that, you have to have the component available at the edge, waiting for updates and also cache updates. The updates from the publisher as well as the cache updates. I don't know exactly how that works, but I have forgotten. It's more than 1.5 years ago that we actually explored this pattern. So honestly, I don't know.
Technology. There's a new technology by Adobe, Edge Delivery Services, where it's been in the market like a year.
Oh, it has its own CDN, right? Oh, Adobe CDN. It introduces a CDN in the Edge Delivery Services. That CDN is no.
It's not a CDN. It's a complete.
I know. No, but doesn't it use CDN? It uses CDN to that is aware of AEM architecture, and that CDN is the one that manages everything.
AEM architecture is completely dependent on JCR, but EDS is coming out of JCR architectures. You will not have any author and publisher down the line.
Yeah.
So there are some agentic AIs developed by Adobe recently, where it does the similar activities the way you were telling about scripting the page and then constructing the static blocks. It's basically a document-based authoring.
Oh yeah, doc. Yeah, correct. They also have this Excel and Word document. Is that what you're talking about?
Not on the Excel, the Word document.
Yeah, that's
Google Drive. So haven't had any exposure on that.
Oh yeah, very early on. In fact, the guys that are working at AEM were my colleagues in FatWire, and we had that when we were building, we introduced authoring using the Word document and the Excel document where we had the plugin and you could, but in our case, what happened is that got converted into assets and stored in the Oracle Web Center sites, and only from the authoring perspective we had addressed that need. But here, you don't even need that. You can directly use these kind of tools to author and publish the delivery services, I think, if I remember right. Yes, I have used it in the past, but not with Adobe.
Okay. Thank you. So in terms of so I'm giving you a use case where you need to work on the new project plan and RFP, which you need to submit for migrating one of the sites from legacy WordPress to AEM, but with its plain AEM, not with Edge Delivery Services. So what is your approach, and what are the things that you take into consideration in proposing the RFPs and getting the RFP approvals from the client?
Okay, so let me restate what we are working on. Client is using a AEM, and
no, he's on Word. You need to migrate. WordPress is on WordPress.
WordPress. I missed that. Okay, they are using WordPress, and you have to migrate into AEM.
That's right.
Correct. Okay, so in this case, first of all, what are we migrating? Are we migrating everything that is there in WordPress into AEM? For example, how are they? First, we need to understand.
There is a site that is on AEM today. That is on
WordPress today.
Site has like some 500 pages. Take example 500 pages, and you need to migrate those WordPress-based site into AEM. And it has portfolio management, product management pages, and then fund management pages. And the data is coming from third-party applications.
Gotcha.
Like your fund level data is coming from fund information services with the microservices. But the task that was proposed for RFP is converting the WordPress site into AEM. What are the things that you want to consider?
I have actually done this proposal and won the proposal also, so I can take that example. So basically, first and foremost thing is that the site that we are talking about, we're going to look at the site, and you've already given get some statistics in terms of how many pages. You've given me the pages, and look at the analytics if we can find the analytics information as to traffic of the site. So get all those good statistics, and then figure out what are the integrations that are currently in place, and what kind of integrations are available in the AEM. So when we convert completely from WordPress to AEM, there are content models to be taken into consideration, content authoring piece, marketing piece, and experience and digital asset management. What kind of DAM that they are using? Are they just storing the assets in maybe an Amazon S3 or in the WordPress itself? So is it digital? There are set of questionnaire that we run through to understand the source system and come up with and really categorize them in terms of the systemic categorization, and then feature wise categorization, integrations, and also take into consideration all these different metrics that I talked about. You take all of them into consideration and come up with an estimation. And of course, when we did the estimation and we won the project, we did a Delphi estimation. We didn't know anything about SoCalGas.com, so 4-5 of us kind of distributed it and said, okay, in order to build this into a new CMS, go ahead and analyze what are all the reusable modules in this, and how many modules you come up with, how many pages you come up with, how many integration. We have to come up with the integration pattern. To some extent, we have to go beyond requirements and a high level architecture to some extent, and ask all the clarifying questions and work out an estimation. And of course, most of the estimations are done, in my case, taking teams into account, barring the licenses, barring the product price, and we never took those into account, because that anyway you can add it on top of everything else, right? But team structure is important. Once you understand the amount of work that is involved in methodically documenting, categorizing, and understanding what is involved, then you go ahead and build the team. Depending on the time we have for the RFP preparation, I mean, I've also done used ChatGPT and few other. I built a tool also myself where I can give a website and it gives me a sort of a rough RFP, and I can go through the RFP and figure out, based on my so many experience of writing RFPs, I can go ahead, tweak it. So depending on the time, what I'm explaining earlier was in a traditional process where we methodically go through, figure out, and we have an idea of what it takes, and use some AI to really automate this process and tweak it and review it internally with at least a few key experts, and you'll be, with a few iterations, you'll be ready with the RFP.
Okay. So there was a client ask, like they want to do along with migration. They also want to do a modernization. With they don't have Figma today, and they want to do modernization based on the Figma designs, and rebranding they want to do. So what are things you'll be taking into consideration in these use cases?
So they specifically want to use Figma, or they, Adobe has its own products, right? I mean, when you're moving to Adobe, are you going to Adobe ecosystem or just AEM and just the designs in Figma?
A new design, rebranding that the business want to do. Let's talk about anything, not only about Figma.
Okay.
So what the business ask is like they want to do a rebranding on their pages, so that the new designs need to be done along with the migration.
These days, it's
migrating a site from WordPress to AEM, right?
Yeah.
When you are migrating, they also want to redesign their web pages for better look and feel with better accessibility and SEO standards.
Gotcha. Okay, so traditionally it would have taken us a team, a big team to do it. For example, like you have to talk to the branding team, understand exactly what's needed, and the UI experience. UI person has to really draft it out and get the branding colors and branding guidelines if any company has, and then come up with the initial page, get a sign off. Those were the older times, but these days you can feed in the branding guidelines and also exactly what you're looking for, and with a few iteration you can also get it done. It can be done by a product owner, it can be done by a marketing expert if he knows how to use AI. That's what I would say. But forgetting AI and everything else, things to take into consideration is that, of course, you are looking at the new branding guidelines, right? That, like I talked about. And second thing is, how do you come up with the component model? Even within the UIX, you shouldn't design in such a way that we are not able to map it to the CMS, AEM. So we can just use Workfront and come up with the modular design for your new UI. And of course, once the brand approval happens for one page, then you go ahead and come up with the structure, from reusable components even in UI, and which can be easily integrated with the AEM. And of course, maintaining the SEO standards. I mean, whatever SEO, search engine optimization, like the parameters that you used, and the SEO team will hopefully continue to transition over to AEM. So SEO in itself doesn't change, but the way you tag them, way you actually implement that is going to change in AEM. So there is a change management that is needed to incorporate this SEO into AEM methodology. And you have tagging, all that into consideration. And yeah, I mean, basically from the design aspect, you can use any tool. You can use Figma, you can use Adobe XD, whatever it is. But most importantly, in this AI age, it's not going to be done traditionally like how it's done traditionally. You can just quickly prototype and move forward and build a branding page. I have done it very easily. I don't even, I haven't, I'm not a UI designer, but with the proper prompting and everything, I have built good branding sites myself.
Yeah, good to know, Shaila. Yeah, I think I'm good from mine. Shaila, is there anything else that you would like to know from me?
Yes. And you mentioned that this is for Apple, right?
Yeah.
So Apple, they already have AEM. So you're just giving me a fictitious example, right? I mean, they already have.
We are trying to understand your way
Gotcha.
of ideas, how you're trying to propose
Yeah.
to the client, and in a project management role. So I was just trying to understand the use cases
Okay.
that you're solving.
Are you able to share anything about the project you are interviewing me for?
No, I'm from the practice, Shaila. I don't have much background on the project that you will be dealing with, but it's about a first level of screening that I'm trying to do with the practice side. But all I need to know is like I just want to evaluate your skill set on the content management systems first. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was interviewed earlier with Wipro for a couple of roles, content role and then project management also. They said, okay, you are selected for project management. We're just waiting for the finalization and we'll put you in. So I was just trying to see if that is what this one is about, or it's totally a different role.
Really, I don't have context on that, but all it is like I'm from the practice team where I just screen couple of profiles even before presenting to the client. I believe it's a client-facing role to at this point in time, where you might need to closely work with Adobe folks in driving their experiences across multiple line of businesses that they had.
Oh, I see. So it's mainly about branding and UI kind of work, or it's complete content management transformation?
Not the complete transformation. They have a large landscape on Adobe AEM already. So it's a kind of new enhancements that they might be doing with the acquisitions that they are trying to do,
Uh-huh.
where they might need to rebrand them on the architectures that they had already defined.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shaila. Pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure
Yeah.
talking to you as well, Manjuna.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.